Hello, hello. So I just got home. I was driving with the windows down, listening to some uh, Ludacris. Yeah, it was great. It's really balmy tonight, excessively humid. Um, anyways, yeah, I work today, so I actually have real clothes on today. Um, I guess what I want to talk about is my work. I'm a hairstylist, and there is so much that I love about doing hair. I love that it's creative. I feel like I spend all day visiting with friends and chatting them up because chatting is what I do. Any of my clients who are on here can attest to that. Um, when I was in beauty school, I went to beauty school near a senior home, and the majority of our clients were older ladies who would get their roller sets and stuff. And we weren't taught a whole lot of diversity things in school. And so once I graduated, I honestly, I wish I could say that I like just cared about curly girls that couldn't get their hair done and this and that, but that really wasn't the case. I honestly really cared about learning how to control this chaos that I call my head of hair that is wily and doing all the things on its own. I actually know how to manage this hair now. From the looks of it, it doesn't appear to be that way. The reason I currently do not do my hair is ever since I lost Jordan, I just don't. I haven't done my hair. He always loved however I wore my hair, whatever weird rainbow color I did. He always loved it. And without him, I mean, I did it long before meeting him, but now that he's gone and he's not there to appreciate it, I don't know. It feels too joyous and too festive. And I don't know. Someday I plan on bringing the rainbow back, but as of now, it is not back. And I don't style it. I throw it up in a ponytail or bun most of the time. And then I drive with the windows open and I end up looking like Einstein stuck his finger in a socket. And yeah. So, anyways, that is my hair situation. But I really wanted to learn what to do with my curl. I grew up hating my curl. I was the only one with excessively curly hair. When I was growing up, my hair was really long, almost to my knees. And I would sit sometimes on it and it would be like, "Ugh," because in the cult it was very normal for a woman's hair is her crowning glory, and so it was very, some people would trim their hair and such, but everyone had long hair, all the women at least. And when I was 14, I chopped all my hair off. 14 or 15 was it? I think I was 15. Maybe I was 15 or 14. I don't remember. I actually went through 7 different hairstyles. I kept cutting my hair because I had moved to a new commune in a new city where I didn't have any family. I was 14. But maybe I just turned 15. But I was on my own. I mean, I had legal guardians, but none of my sisters were there. My parents weren't there. I knew a couple of the families and their children I consider like my cousins or extended family because I grew up with them and we lived together many, many times. And so I do consider them a form of family, but they still weren't actually my family. So at 14, I was at this place, and very quickly after getting there, several of the girls started cutting their hair the same way I cut it. I mean, I told them how I cut it, and then they started doing it. And maybe they weren't trying to copy me at all, but there was several who had that style not long after I got there and explained how it was that I cut my hair. And I would do the unicorn thing and twist the ponytail and then cut the tip off. It's a great way to get a 180 shag. A 180 degree is the haircut we call it, but it's also a way to get a shag. It's not a precise way to do it. I don't recommend doing it at home unless you're really okay with. I mean, we were cult kids. We didn't care if our hair looked a fuck mess, but fucked up mess, not fuck mess. I don't know. That's not words. I mean words, but incorrectly jumbled together. I digress. So anyways, I was like, well, screw it. Everyone's copying me. I'm going to do something different. And so I went through about 3 variations of a mullet. Kept going. At first I did the same thing, and then I cut it shorter and shorter, and then I chopped bangs, and then I put way too much hair into bangs. And next thing I knew, I had like a really, in Brazil, a mullet is often referred to as a chitãozinho chororó because they were two famous artists that both sported the mullet back in the day. And so I sported a chitãozinho chororó, 3 different lengths of it, all in one day. I had like the bangs became the whole top of my head, and then the back was really long. And I was like, and then I was like, okay, this does not look right. So I cut it all off, and I ended up with a really short haircut. And anyone can wear their hair at any length. Hair does not have gender. But in the cult, hair definitely had gender. And I had a boy cut. And they would hide me from guests, like when they would have church guests come over or other people from other communes. I had to stay in my room because it was an embarrassment that they had such a rebellious girl that people now mistook for a boy because all the girl's hair was quite long. And here I was with short hair. Um, uh, Short while later, I moved to the States for the first time, and by that time I was 15. So I did cut my hair at 15, but I moved to this place at 14. And I finally got tired of it once I was 15 that everyone was copying me. I don't want to be a trendsetter. I want to do my own wackadoo thing. And so, but yeah. And I moved to near DC area. It was the first time I ever went to the States. It was a month before my 16th birthday. And I had short hair. And I didn't know people here. There was a couple of people that I'd known before who knew me, and of course 2 of my sisters were here, so they knew who I was. But I went to a dance between like a few different communes with other teens, and no one asked me to dance. I ended up chatting with this girl for like the whole time. We just had a great conversation, and everyone thought we were a couple. The only reason I say that, as in that's strange, is they were against any form of LGBTQ. About the only way that you could be gay was if you were bi, and only for women. And women could be, oh my God, this was not what I was expecting to talk about today. I was talking about work. But anyways, so me and her, no one would assume we were just a lesbian couple. They just assumed I was a boy and she was a girl. They also couldn't assume that we were just 2 girls having a conversation, which is what it was. But yeah, so anyways, a lot has been tied into my hair. So that's what kind of helped me go into doing hair. And the only thing I dislike about my job, there is 2 things. I mean, I have the occasional client who cancels last minute or forgets to cancel and forgets their appointment. But most of them, it's an accident. Things happen. It's fine. I mean, of course, it's not my favorite thing to happen, but it's okay. And most of my people aren't trying to be douchebags, just life happens. So that's fine. The 2 things I really dislike about my job is actually nothing to do with my job. It's one that I have to get up at a set time. I have a terrible time falling asleep. I've had insomnia forever. I'll go into that at another time. And right now, since losing Jordan, I have a really hard time getting to sleep. And sleep aids only help so much, and weed only helps so much. Disclaimer, don't do drugs, children, yada yada. So I have trouble getting to sleep. Once I'm asleep, I'm usually okay, but I have trouble getting to sleep. So yeah, oftentimes I stay up really late. So then getting up early, it's just really, really hard. I'm not a morning person. If there was some way I could just like roll my ass out of bed and like show up at work whenever I felt, and clients would just line up in order, that would be wonderful. But life needs some semblance of structure. I guess, am really opposed to structure. Especially rigid structure. The other reason is I hate wearing bras. I just do. Now, I'm a little busty to not wear a bra. I need it. Plus I have little T-Rex arms, and I'm very busty, and I have on occasion swiped a client in the face with the boobs while shampooing. I really try not to, but it has happened once or twice. Luckily, with clients that understood and didn't, make it awkward. I probably made it awkward by being very surprised and, oh my God, how could I do that? But yeah, so those are the two things I really dislike about my job. Other than that, I like everything. Oh yeah, and having to sweep the whole salon floor at the end of the day. But it's necessary and needs to be done, so it's fine. I don't mind that. Except I get really vigorous with my sweeping, so it ends up being way more of a workout than it's necessary. Um, but today was like a perfect example. I worked a pretty long day, close to 10 hours, and I had 5 clients. And I have a very diverse clientele, and this is what I was sort of touching on with the amount of education that is lacking in regards to textured hair, and not just textured like my hair, but with curly and coily and highly textured hair. There is a lack of education on the subject. I believe the younger generation of stylists are possibly getting a better education on the subject, and I really hope they are. But at least when I went to beauty school, it was sorely lacking. Now, this is where I went off on the tangent. I'm remembering now. So I veered off. So, in order to learn how to take care of my hair, because I have thick, coarse, and curly hair, and I hated it since forever. And so I wanted to learn how to manage this hair. And so by learning how to manage my hair, I realized that a lot of tricks and techniques that worked on my hair worked on other curly, coily hair as well. And so from there, I started to build my confidence in actually learning more about other textured hairs, even more textured than my own. And I just realized how many people would get turned away because either they didn't feel comfortable or because the stylist, I mean, it's great to be honest about your limitations, and that's wonderful. You don't want to overstate what your skills are and screw up someone's hair, but I've heard this story so many times of specifically black women who get turned away by multiple locations because they can't do their hair texture. They're either unskilled or inexperienced or too nervous or just apprehensive overall. And I understand if you can't, but like, I get it if you're in a place that there just isn't a high demand, there aren't that many clients in your area. Maybe you live in a place that's just, doesn't have that level of diversity, but I mean, you're cutting yourself off from potential income. Honestly, it benefits you too, and it benefits them. It's one of those like awesome win-win situations. There's a need and you can learn to fill it, and that would be great. And so now after many years, so whenever people are like, I didn't learn that in school, and I'm like, yeah, but you've been out of school for a minute. You are supposed to do continuing education, and you have the choice on what continuing education you would like to learn. And expanding your knowledge to include all hair textures is a really great skill to have. And it goes very appreciated. Yeah, it may take a little time to convince people that, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. And yeah, understandably so, because some people have been turned away so many times or had people be a little too confident and screw up their hair. And so, yeah, they've been burned a couple times. They're a little nervous about touching that stove again. So I get that. But yeah, it is possible to learn. It is possible to build a clientele. Like my 5 clients today, I had 2 black clients, 2 white clients, and 1 Hispanic client. 2 of my clients were immigrants. 3, I believe, were all born here in this state. All are Americans at this point. 2 were young women. 1 was a man. 2 were middle-aged women. Uh, I think 4 of my clients had some sort of, one has like wavy hair, and then the other 3 all had much higher textured curly to coily hair. And it, it was a very diverse group. And I love having a diverse clientele. I'm visiting with so many people that have so many different backgrounds. And weirdly enough, or maybe not weirdly enough, there's so much overlap in what kind of lives they lead. And, you would think that, this person, one of my clients is retired, and then I have you know, young clients in there. I think these young clients are in their 30s, maybe one's in late 20s. Um, you know, and even with that age gap and where they come, ants, really? I think I need some bug spray for this basement. Um, but even with their, on the surface, the different lives that they lead, I'm like, I don't know, they still lead very similar lives too. I mean, there's plenty of things that are different, but there's so much similar. And I don't know, it's just kind of awesome to have a conversation with someone about, I don't know, food from other places, weather in other places, things that they look forward to, holidays that their family celebrates. Just so much variety of things that you can learn from just knowing different people that don't all have the same story as you. Most people don't have the same story as me, so I mean, I guess I could get that thrill with just a whole bunch of people that are the same. But I really do enjoy, oh, my hair is so poofy. I really do enjoy just having such a variety, and it's wonderful. And tomorrow I have a couple of my kid clients coming in, which is always fun. I'm so lucky that all my kids, I think, all my kid clients are quite well behaved. Some are a little hyper energetic at times. Um, but yeah, I don't have any extraordinarily obnoxious children. Some children can be obnoxious, and I'm so lucky I don't have any of those as clients. But yeah, I have an interesting collection of clients tomorrow as well, and yeah, I don't know. It's just something that makes me really happy to have. And it took a while to build this clientele and to get women to trust me that have not been able to trust a lot of people in the hairstylist industry. And I'm so glad to see things starting to change and a lot of effort being made to change the way the industry is, because there are so many people who need us and we need them. I mean, money's money, and they're awesome people. So, like, all of them are awesome. I mean, I disagree with some things with some clients, and we talk through things, and we're not, everyone's not, some identical hive mind think or anything, but like, it benefits me because I make money, and it also benefits me because I meet these amazing people that I wouldn't otherwise meet. And honestly, it's just like having a girls' night in, or girls and boys, or mixed. Um, who cares the gender? It's just like having a chill party with your friends where you braid each other's hair and chit chat about life and have a good time and crack some jokes and laugh and cry. And I don't know, it's just like friendly get together sort of thing, but I happen to be working and I happen to be making money while doing it, and that's amazing. And so I think it's phenomenal, and I get to be creative and artistic, and I get to chat everyone's ears off. Yeah, I warn new clients. One of my clients today was new. It was my first time, and I'm just like, girl, I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm extraordinarily depressed, because she was like, oh, are you single or married? And I'm like, well, about that. So I'm like, no, I'm extremely depressed. So if things get a little dark real quick, I apologize in advance. I'm just, I'm on antidepressants, but I still get really depressed and I might randomly burst into tears. So be prepared. I'm like, I also swear a fuck ton and I can't stop myself. I try to and I just can't. After losing someone so close to you and everything you finally thought you were getting, everything you ever wanted in life, and it just like, bleh, I'm just like, fuck, fuck, fuck. I'm going to swear, and I don't care. If you don't like it, please, you don't have to listen. It's fine. I understand some people are sensitive to swear words, and I used to be myself, but I don't give a fuck anymore. And But yeah, and so I just told her like it is. I'm like, this is me. I never shut up. You got to wait for me to catch a breath if you want to get a word in. I'm like, you can tune me out or ask me to be quiet, and I will do my best to oblige. Um, and she's like, oh no, you're fine. And we had a lovely conversation about family and children, and her daughter's getting married, and just like, it was awesome. And and oh my god, she's lovely. And we talked about food and travel and so many things, mostly talked about family, and I love that. Family is awesome, whether it's family related by blood or your chosen family. Family is amazing. And so yeah, I guess that's my video. This was way all over the place. Good grief. I thought I could be a little bit more focused. This is me when I'm this is me normal, honestly. I really go on tangents like nobody's business. My plan was simply to talk about the diversity of my clientele and how awesome that is, and how I would really strongly encourage, if you're a hairstylist, you should definitely do your best to educate yourself so you don't have to turn clients away. It's okay if you don't provide all the services, but if you provide color, you should be able to provide color for all hair textured clients. And if you do haircuts, you should be able to cut all hair types. It's okay if you're still learning, and you can be honest about what your skill level is, but don't limit yourself because you're intimidated by working on a hair type that's different from your own, or from what you were taught in school. Like, it really is okay to expand out. And, the more knowledgeable you become, the easier it is for other people to trust you. And I've also learned so much from my clients. Honestly, I wouldn't be where I'm at with my skill level with doing higher textured hair if it hadn't been for my clients who have taught me so much. And other instructors and people that are really actively trying to promote more knowledge and education on the subject. I would not know what I know today. And YouTube is your friend. There's a lot of great licensed stylists that give little mini tutorials, and it's wonderful. It really is wonderful. It might not be some professional class setting, but if they are a professional and they are taking time to share their knowledge with you, it is great. There's some amazing barbers, and there's some just amazing hair artists and all of that. And it's absolutely wonderful. And you should absolutely check it. And oh, I was about to get that fly. Damn it. Okay. I will end this now because the bugs are just in full force right now. Good grief. But yeah, this was a mangled chaos of, I love my clients. I really do. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're not my client and you happen to be in my neighborhood, you send me a message and let me know. So with this, I bid you adieu. I'm just going to chill for a little bit and head off to bed early, hopefully, and get some sleep tonight.